Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Lebanon Utility Service Board for Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. Let's record show this meeting was properly advertised and that all board members are present tonight. There was also a short working session prior. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'd like to offer public comment at the beginning and end of each of our meetings. We'll go ahead and offer that now if there's any comments from the public. All right, we'll ask again at the end. First item is the approval of our minutes from the August 13th meeting 1 week ago. Everyone had a chance to review those, and if so, I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes for August the 13th, 2025.
Second.
Motion made by Bill and a quick tie with Ann and Tim to second. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, looks like Sandra's here for the fourth quarter tracker.
Good evening, everyone. So on July 28th, we received our fourth quarter tracker for 2025. And I have it up on the screen. I'm not sure. I'm obviously not going to read all these numbers, but the Finance Committee has had a chance to review this for probably about a week or so. And the one thing I did based on the questions that we had gotten from the last meeting was I put together a spreadsheet here, and I apologize that I don't know how well you can see that on your screen. But for a residential customer in the fourth quarter, the average about 22%, but that equates to about $4 on an average bill. And if you look down through there, the commercial single phase, it and then for small power, it's about $4 more per month. And in addition to that, and I don't know if this was helpful or not helpful, but I also put together a spreadsheet that kind of just went through each. And here's what the change is quarter from quarter. But to me, most important is I went, well, what's the total change from the fourth quarter of 2020?
Let me ask a question here.
Okay.
Now, that's not 19% less on the bill. That's 19% less on the tracker portion of the bill. Is that correct?
Only on the tracker portion. Our rates haven't changed since 2013. So the base rates are the same, and we go in and we do that calculation, and then you apply the tracker to the total kilowatts. So it's actually a very small portion of your bill.
Very small or small?
It's a pretty small portion of your bill.
All right.
But anyway, looking down through there, almost everything is down if you compare quarter. So what we're looking for is we're recommending that the board approve the 2025 fourth quarter fuel adjustment tracker with an effective date of October, November, and December of 2025.
All right, any questions for Sandra on the tracker or how it works or calculates? I'm sure she can answer that, but it's always moving, correct, Sandra? I mean,
Every quarter.
Yep.
The tracker, again, like I said, our base rates haven't changed since 2013, but what changes is how much we pay IMPA for fuel and how much IMPA has to pay to either produce it or to buy it. So that's what this tracker does is every quarter it adjusts the rates to show the difference in what we're paying in purchase power. So if the cost of purchase power goes down, you'll see a negative. If it goes up, you'll see a positive. But again, it's distributed across all the rate classes. So sometimes it's a positive for one and a negative for the other.
And Jeff maybe, or Sandra, you might know, why is it that we approve this tracker if it's an automatic adjustment to what the costs are?
So when we were under the IURC, it was required that after we get that calculated, the IURC did a sign off on that. After we got out of the IURC, it was recommended by council that we still did have an oversight committee that signed off on that quarterly. So for us, that would be the Lebanon Utility Service Board. Jeff, you can add to that if you.
No, the other piece to that, good question, is that it adds some transparency to that process and allows you to discuss about why people's bills fluctuate. That's out of the utilities' control for the most part. So.
Right, good info.
Yeah, I guess I could add that I'm also have a seat as a commissioner representing Lebanon Utilities on the IMPA's commission. So let's say that we thought this was unfair or there's something Sandra didn't like about the calculation. I could bring it up with IMPA. We could discuss it at one of their monthly board meetings. We're having one Friday. And we don't necessarily have the power to change it, but they do listen. We do have a seat on that board, and there is transparency, like Jeff was saying, in the process. So it's just part of the oversight that this board does and does a good job of. So thanks.
When we were with IURC, we were required to publish in the paper the tracker changes. And I'm pleased that this board decided to continue publishing in the paper, even though we're not in the IURC anymore and strictly required to do so. I think it's another good part of the transparency.
Yep, good information. Thank you, Sandra, and everyone else. Any other questions before I entertain a motion? Would entertain a motion.
Move to approve the 2025 fourth quarter fuel adjustment tracker with an effective date of October, November, and December of 2025.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, second by Bill to approve the 2024 fourth quarter fuel adjustment tracker with an effective date of October, November, and December of 2025. Any additional comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yeah,
Right.
I want to thank Sandra for this percentage analysis. That's not included in the IMPA documents, and I found it very helpful. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you, everyone.
All right. The Project 105, 1275 Cox Avenue change order. And looks like Jeff Greeno will address the board. Hey, Jeff.
Good afternoon. This is a request asking the board to retroactively approve the change order to the Barrett conduit installation of Project 105, the 1275 Cox Avenue tie line. This change order is due to us. We needed to reroute to a different pole. The original project was approved back in January of 2025. I do want the board to know that the project is completed. We have a fully functioning tie line now, so we have a better way of switching out in that particular area. So we have better redundancy out there for all of our customers. So I'd just like to request the board to approve the Barrett change order for the project 105, 1275, 1274, 1211 Cox Avenue in accordance with IC code 52222 for the amount not to exceed $6,836, increasing the overall not to exceed to $23,828.
Right. Any questions for Jeff? Jeff, did you say this was just a reroute of some sort for the?
We had to extend it to another pole for unseen obstacles in the ground.
All right. Any other comments? I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve the Barrett change order for Project 105, 1275 Cox Avenue in accordance with IC 522-22 for the amount not to exceed $6,836, increasing the overall not to exceed to $23,828.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Ann to approve the Barriott change order for project 105-1275 Cox Avenue in accordance with IC 52222 for an amount not to exceed $6,836, with the overall not to exceed at $23,828. Any additional comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
All right, next item is the 3-year sanitary sewer lining and gravity sewer reroute BOT program. Looks like Spencer Portish is up for a little bit now here. Hey, Spencer.
Good evening. This request is related to the 3-year sanitary sewer lining and gravity sewer reroute BOT program. My scoring committee was comprised of staff and board member. It was determined that 5 developers are qualified to perform this work. Those 5 include F.A. Wilhelm, Inliner Solutions, Kokosing Industrial, Reynolds Construction, and Thieneman Construction. After we conducted in-person interviews, the committee agreed that we would like to move forward with Inliner Solutions. So essentially, this request would be to approve the recommendation to move forward with Inliner Solutions for the BOT program and authorize advertisement for the public hearing.
Right, thanks. Any questions for Spencer? I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve the recommendation to move forward with Inliner Solutions for the BOT program and to authorize to advertisement of a public hearing.
Second.
Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Tim to approve the recommendation to move forward with Interliner Solutions for the BOT program and to authorize for a public hearing. Any other comments or questions?
I served on the scoring committee and in my opinion, everyone gave a best effort to decide which way was the best way to go. And it was rather a lengthy process, but one that I think had a good conclusion and good effort by all involved.
Right, thanks. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Spencer, on to the truck-mounted sewer cleaner award.
Yes, so this one, we reached out to BF&S to get some assistance on with an RFP process. So this request is to approve the recommendation from BF&S to select best equipment company based upon their adherence to the mandatory requirements, costs provided, and information included in their statements of qualification. This is a budgeted line item, number 9 underneath the capital additions for vehicle 27 replacement. And I'll come back later to declare that as surplus. But right now I would just like to request, and Jeff, I'll lean on you if the verbiage of this is a little off. Our request for the approval of the BF&S recommendation to finalize the contract for an amount not to exceed $168,398 with best equipment company on the base bid amount after consideration of the trade-in value, as well as have General Manager Ed Baskell sign all documents.
All right, sounds like that's a format for a motion. Any questions for Spencer on this? I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve BF&S recommendation to pursue finalization of a contract in the amount of $168,398 with best equipment company on the base bid amount after consideration of trade-in value, with General Manager Ed Baskell executing the necessary documents.
Second.
Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Tim, to approve the BF&S recommendation to pursue a contract in the amount of $168,398 with best equipment, with our general manager signing all necessary documents after consideration of the trade-in value. Any additional comments?
Yeah, Spencer, I noticed that we had $300,000 budgeted and we ended up with $168,000 submittal.
Sir?
that's, from my standpoint, that's a pleasant development
Very.
that we're well under budget, but is there some reason why it was over budgeted that you can address?
I cannot personally address. I believe Ryan and staff sat together and made that budget
That's
item
fine, that's
before
fine.
I was here, so
That's fine.
I can get you that answer though.
No, that's fine. It's, that was just interesting to me in so many good ways. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
My guess is that it was a conservative attempt to not be under budget. So, okay, any other questions for Spencer? I would entertain a motion. Did you already motion or you just?
John's got a comment.
If I could help, this $60,000 trade-in value certainly helped get it down to a good budget as well.
So that's at 168 after that?
Yeah, that includes 60,000 of trade-in. So that really
Okay.
weren't that far off.
Would have been
as-
over 200,000.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, so if there's no other questions, I'd entertain a motion. We already have that? We already have a motion and a second?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, we've got Aaron and Tim here on my notes as motion and second. So any other comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Still Spencer here with the wholesale water supply program phase 1 and supplemental agreement number 1.
Yep, just a couple more. This one is for the increase to the wholesale water supply program phase 1 agreement. This supplemental agreement includes additional subcontractor or sub-consultant fees, for SUE, geotech, and specialized elevated storage tank inspections. We touched on this in the working session. BFNS does a great job of construction inspections, but doesn't see this or something like this every day. So having some extra eyes on this at the manufacturing plant as well as kind of on site is something that we invite and look forward to. So I request the approval of the supplemental agreement number 1, increasing the amount by $117,946 from $3,035,655 to the total fee not to exceed $3,153,601.
All right, thank you. Questions for Spencer on this wholesale water supply agreement?
Not a question, but more of a comment that inspecting at the factory level before it gets on site with expertise, if this is regarding the welding, is very well thought of. I think we want to do that.
All right, any other comments, questions? In motion?
Approve the wholesale water supply program phase 1 supplemental agreement number 1 and increasing the amount by $117,946, making the overall not to exceed $3,153,601.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Tim, approving the wholesale water supply program phase 1 supplemental agreement number 1, increasing the amount by $117,946, making the overall not to exceed $3,153,601. Any additional comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Spencer, on to Grant Street Phase 2 water wastewater infrastructure improvements.
This request is to approve the reimbursement of Grant Street Phase 2 water and wastewater infrastructure improvements to the city of Lebanon. The water portion would be covered under line item 3 of the capital additions budget, and the wastewater portion would be covered under line item number 8. Essentially, Kevin Krulik reached out to John and us and basically gave us a bid from an NDOT contractor that was well under our budgeted line item. And so essentially, Ryan, myself, have gone through their kind of itemized breakdown that John has helped us put together that was part of GovInda as well as the agenda. And essentially, we feel that this is a pretty good deal. So with that, I request the approval to reimburse the city of Lebanon for the Grant Street Phase 2 water and wastewater infrastructure improvements for the amount not to exceed $970,000 or $970,609.
All right. Questions on this project for Spencer?
I have a question for John Leitner. Again, I'm, more than pleased that the water reimbursement portion of $901,000 is considerably less than the $1.7 million budgeted. Again, is there some reason why we missed on the budget? And the reason I ask this, when it comes to be budget time, sometimes it's important that our budget's being accurate as possible so that we make proper determinations about when to consider rate increases. So can you shed a little more light on that?
Yeah, so part of our budgeting item is kind of considering some of these projects in a vacuum occasionally. What you're seeing here is a lot of really good cost savings that you get by partnering with the city through an NDOT project to do this increase. So you're not having to pay for mobilization. You're not having to pay for road restoration. That's all being part of the actual project. The other thing is those estimates, the 1.7 budget also has engineering, design, and inspection fees in it. With this, NDOT is doing, NDOT will be doing the inspection on behalf of Lebanon Utilities during the project as well. So again, it's really good that while there is going to be a project on NDOT that's going to be disruptive that the city and NDOT is performing, Lebanon Utilities is able to take advantage of that and go in and get a upsize a line and get a really good benefit.
So you budgeted it like we would be doing the project normally, so to speak, but the way we ended up doing it, we were able to achieve thankful savings.
Correct. Yep.
Good question. Thanks, John. All right, any other questions for Spencer or John? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve reimbursing the city of Lebanon for Grant Street Phase 2 water and wastewater infrastructure improvements for the amount not to exceed $970,609.
Second.
Motion made by Ann, seconded by Bill to approve reimbursing the city of Lebanon for Grant Street Phase 2 water and wastewater infrastructure improvements in an amount not to exceed $970,609. Any other comments, questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Any opposed? All right, moving right along. Next item is the Patriot Engineering and Environmental Change Order number 1.
Yes, so the board has previously approved this kind of this contract, so to say, with Patriot Engineering for subsurface work and testing of that as well at the wastewater treatment plant, and that is part of the expansion there. So this request is to approve the change order number 1. This change order for the added costs within the geotechnical engineering exploration. The additional geotechnical work was requested by Bowen Engineering. This was due to the support from their shoring design for the excavation of the new vertical loop reactors. The additional geotechnical work resulted in limiting the shoring design, which will lower the overall construction costs. The cost of the additional service comes out to $6,800. That would bring the total purchase order to $57,250. So I request the approval of change order number 1 for Patriot Engineering and Environmental to prepare subsurface investigations for an amount not to exceed $57,250.
All right, thanks, Spencer. Questions for Spencer on this project?
I have a
Change order?
question for Sandra Morgan. So this will be paid by the LEAP SRF loan?
I'm assuming if it's the same project.
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Right, so before I had the impression that there was some expenses that were temporarily paid for by ratepayers and looking to be reimbursed later on. This is one that's going to be reimbursed in the normal course of business.
As long as it's for the first phase of the water and the wastewater, we have both of those SRFs secure, so we can pay those right now. Prior, we were holding the wastewater ones until the bond went through, and then we reimbursed ourselves for those.
Okay, is that reimbursement process from those previous ones underway?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All right, any other questions? I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve change order number 1 to the Patriot Engineering and Environmental to prepare subsurface investigation for an amount not to exceed $6,800, making the overall number not to exceed $57,250.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Ann, approving change order number 1 to the Patriot Engineering and Environmental to prepare subsurface investigation for an amount not to exceed $6,800 with the overall not to exceed at $57,250. Any other comments, questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Spencer. Moving to the claims payroll transfers dated August 20th, 2025. Everyone had a chance to review those items? If so, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve claims payroll transfers dated August 20, 2025 in the amount of $1,134,889.33 for claims and payroll and $1,885,136.75 for transfers.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Ann to approve the claims payrolls and transfers dated August 20th, 2025. Any additional discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, anyone from the board have any other business tonight? Ed, business from you? All right, we'll offer public comment again. Don't see any public comment. Ed, anything you're aware of from the public? All right, we're scheduled to meet September 3rd, Wednesday at 5 p.m. for our next meeting. And if there's nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Ann to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.